Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Ladies and gentlemen, music lovers all. This version of Reggae Unleashed delves into the top 12 most popular reggae dancehall rhythms ever made. I must admit that amidst a plethora of excellent contenders, it was a real challenge arriving at a final 12. On this occasion, my name is Hartley Anderson, and I am very, very pleased to be presenting to you Reggae Unleashed. Now, reggae music, as you know, is characterized by its heavy influence and dependence on the drum and the bass. You know, sometimes it makes the rhythm of a song even more memorable and important than its lyrics, and that is the truth. It is a sound, therefore, that often determines a song's popularity, not only among artists, but also among fans. And producers, therefore, strive for that great formula for success and longevity. Now, over the years, there have been some truly timeless reggae and dancehall rhythms, and many of them were resurrected decades after their initial introduction, to the world. For instance, let us look at the Shanghai Shake rhythm. And you also have the Nanny Go, the Bam Bam, and the Cherry Oh Baby rhythms. All of those rhythms, along with others that we will encounter in this podcast, were in fact created between the 1960s and the 1970s. But they were revitalized in the 1980s and the 1990s to resounding admiration and success in the dance hall, because remember now that the dance hall was really popping between the 1980s and the 1990s. All right? Now, I am saying that having whittled down an impressive list of some 20-odd, 30-odd rhythms, there obviously would be many of them, creditable rhythms also that just never made a final cut. But I think that some of them deserve honorary mention. Included are the Kete Drum rhythm, the Rockford Rock rhythm, Death in the Arena rhythm, the Batty Rider rhythm, the Smudge rhythm, the Haunted rhythm, the Baddest rhythm, the Diwali rhythm, the Lalabella rhythm, and so on. All right. So I am giving those honorary mentions, but they just never made it into the top 12. Now, before we actually roll out the top 12 rhythms, I want to quickly explain the formula that I used to determine the positioning. All right. First of all, we consider the number of artists that were attracted to a rhythm. We also assess the pedigree of the artists who were attracted to this rhythm and who actually voiced on these rhythms. All right. We looked at the sheer popularity of the songs that are represented, and also the commercial and the cultural impact of the offerings or of the songs on the respective rhythms. And these were the critical benchmarks. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to announce, in descending order, our top 12 reggae dancehall rhythms of all time. Kicking things off in the number 12 position is the Nanny Goat rhythm from yesteryear, taking its name from the Sir Coxsone Dodd / Studio One Larry Marshall single of the late 1960s, which helped to usher in the reggae genre, really. Penthouse Recording Studio introduced the reworked and digitally enhanced Nanny Goat rhythm in 1992 to extraordinary acclaim and reception. Now, among the notable artists who recorded on the Nanny Goat rhythm are Marcia Griffiths with Closer to You, Garnet Silk with Looking Good, Buju Banton with Woman No Fret, General Degree with Brinks, Matt Cobra with Mouth Talk, and Tony Rebel with Chatty Mouth. I'm sure you remember Tony Rebel's song Chatty Mouth. It was a big thing right there too. I now invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to be entertained by Sister Martha Griffiths' Closer to You on the venerable Nanny Goat rhythm. Number 12 it is. Ladies and gentlemen, music lovers, music aficionados, reggae music fans. Coming in at the number 11 position is the Joyride Rhythm of 1996, which was actually conceptualized by Dave Kelly's Madhouse Records. All right. Now, the Joyride Rhythm basically featured a host of creditable performances by the likes of Lady Saw with Sycamore Tree, Frisco Kid with Rubbers. Do you remember that one? Bojo Banton with How It A Go Go. A very aggressive presentation right there. Beanie Man with Silent Violence. And Tanya Stevens with You're Not Ready For This Yet. You remember that one, okay? So all of those were exponents of the very popular Joyride Rhythm of 1996. Now, with a stellar lineup of artists to choose from, we still are going to be handing the honors to Wayne Wonder to refresh our memories of the Joyride Rhythm, since he had all of 2 songs on this rhythm, you know. He had Joyride and he had Bashment Girl. Both of them were hits. In fact, the single Joyride decided ultimately the name of this enchanting rhythm. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I present Joyride for your listening pleasure. The number 10 rhythm on this majestic list is none other than the Wicked Dicky rhythm. And this was a 1992 or 1993 Donovan, Jermaine, and Dave Kelly gem, which actually emanated from the prolific Penthouse hit factory. Now, all told, at least 40 odd artists voiced on this rhythm, which is still currently a cinch, basically, for a hall and pull-up moment, you know, in the dance hall. Wheel and come again, Mr. Selector, you know, that kind of thing. It still has that kind of appeal, the Wicked Dicky rhythm, all right? Now, there were a whole host of artists who hopped onto this captivating rhythm. And of course, you had Beres Hammond with No More Pain, Nadine Sutherland with Wicked and Wild, Cutty Ranks with Leave People Man, General Degree had one called Money I Run, Jack Radix had one called It's Alright, Leroy Smart, Worried About You, Matt Cobra had Fat and Buff, Wayne Wonder had Missing You So Much, and Tony Rebel had Guns and Ammunition. All right? However, it is going to be left to Bojo Banton in tandem with Nadine Sutherland, all right, to actually introduce the Wicked Dicky to us, all right, because they had a very big tune called Wicked Dicky, all right, and that single basically extended beyond the shores of Jamaica, and that is in fact the single that will now grace our ears, music lovers.
All the girls them want, I make them jump up and don't stop chat. Hear them want, that of his verse. Have mercy.
Sitting in the number 9 slot of the top 12 wickedest reggae or dancehall or reggae/dancehall rhythms is the Pepper Seed rhythm. Now, this was an ultra popular sound that emerged around about 2000, around about the turn of the century. And yes, you might have guessed it, Dave Kelly was again the genius behind this creation through his Madhouse Records. Now, all told, close to 50 odd artists at the last count, were attracted to the Pepper Seed rhythm. You might remember some of them. Among them, you had Terra Fabulous had a monster hit called Number 2. Daddy's Crew had Big Things Are Gone. I'm sure you remember that one. Major Mackerel had Showdown. Michigan and Smiley, yes, that duo, they had Stress. Yellow Man hopped onto the bandwagon here also. He had Hot Again. Beanie Man had Miss Angela. Frisco Kid had Big Speech. Yeah, Big Speech. Admiral Bailey had Girl of My Pleasure. Spragga Benz had Things Are Gone. Ninja Man had Sweet Jamaica. Wayne Wonder had Karma Chameleon. And Buju Banton had Man I Look You. However, we are going to shine the spotlight on Daddy's crew now and give him the honor of giving us a peek into this alluring rhythm through a single called Big Things Are Gone. Yes, we're here again. The number 8 honor goes to the Bug Rhythm. Have you ever heard about that? I'm sure you have, dancehall fans. The Bug Rhythm. Now, exponents of this popular rhythm of the 1990s, including people like Baby Sham, he had a single called Ghetto People. Spragga Benz, Sex Abuse, that was his single. Frisco Kid, had Tell Me What You Up To, Lady Saw had Dial Tone. Wayne Wonder had Keep Them Coming. Shaggy had Radiophile. And Beanie Man had Haters and Fools. Yes. All right. However, let us look into Bounty Killer's Eyes. All right. We want to listen to a big single on this particular rhythm. And it is called Look Into My Eyes. All right. I am saying here that it was actually Bounty Killer's colossal contribution to the Bug Rhythm. And it is, to my mind, the most culturally potent of all if you look at the lyrics. All right, that is social commentary to the max, really. And Look Into My Eyes, in my estimation, propelled the Bug Rhythm onto the ladder of dancehall immortality. Let us listen to the killer as he tells us to look into my eyes.
People are dead. People are dead. Dead. That's what I've said. The blind must be led, the hungry must be fed. Hey yo, I'm looking through all this fear over the earth. Hey yo, nobody cares. Take a look in my house. Would you live in there? Huh? Hey yo, look at my shoes, can you see my toes? But that's on the struggle, girl. Nobody knows. Look into my eyes, tell me what you see. Can you feel my pain? Am I your enemy? Give us a better way. Things are really bad. The only friend I know is this gonna have. Listen to my voice, this is not a threat. Now you say the 9. Are you worried yet? You be talking about you want the world to cease, but when you show us home, we will
Music fans, in the number 7 spot is the Showtime Rhythm. Have you ever heard about that? I'm sure you have. And there were, of course, a slew of top DJs who actually came aboard this 1997 bouncing Dave Kelly rhythm, all right? Which had it still has, has a very compelling bass line. Spragga Benz had We No Like. Beanie Man had Hypocrites. Bounty Killer had The Eagle and the Hawk, a wicked tune as well. Wayne Wonder had a very classy single called Searching. Frisco Kid, quite prolific at that time. Gal Pan the Side, and Professor Nuts had Mama Have Her Own. These, to my mind, are all hit songs, if you remember. All right? And we're talking about the Showtime Rhythm. It was very popular on wax. It was also very popular at stage shows. All right? Let us take a listen, therefore, to Shaggy's offering of the Showtime Rhythm, ladies and gentlemen. He had a chart-stopping single entitled Hot Gal.
Now this here goes out to all those player haters. Now if you can relate to this, keep it real, man. Don't front.
Say me a bad girl, in a me bed when me a bad girl. It a fit it when me a bad girl. In a me bed show that bitch because me must make her. Say me a bad girl, pan me mind when me a bad girl. In front me night when me a bad girl, pan me mind. She no know how well me really well want her. Well, I know one girl alone have me weak, but I only good body girl want me sick. Man, I get the kill and we not even a speak. Take man fi geek, put up on me peak. Biggie a girl a piece and she go road go lick. Go to any woman and I run up her dick. Me only make she kiss me pa me chin and me.
In the number 6 spot is a rhythm that became so popular after being remixed that at least 60 odd, almost 70 odd, the last time I counted, 70 odd artists had joined that 1990s project. And of course, we are referring to the Bam Bam Rhythm. That was in fact the winning song for Toots and the Maytals in the very first festival song competition held in Jamaica way back in 1966. All right? Now, from the very fact that so many artists gravitated towards this rhythm decades later is testimony, I am saying, to its quality and also to its appeal. Now, chief among them was the singer-DJ combination of Chaka Demus and Players, whose monster hit, Murder, She Wrote, topped the British charts in 1993. Phenomenal. Now, other exponents of the Bam Bam Rhythm included Narrow the Ranks with Dem a Bleach. You remember that one? It was very current. It was very, very interesting. It was also very humorous, all right? Cut the Ranks also joined the fray with Who Sent Me Done. Eddie Fitzroy, the late Eddie Fitzroy, came with one called I Really Love You. Anthony Malvo came out with Falling in Love. And Panhead, the late Panhead, also, had a contribution here, Pony Printer, if you remember that one. All right, very, very interesting, very humorous too. Of course, with such a monster hit emanating from this rhythm, Murder, She Wrote, Chaka Demus and Pliers will now be propelled into the spotlight with that massive single.
Now this one dedicated to the girl with the angel face and the devil heart. You know, so Ragamuffin, Chaka Demus and you plant players come to deal with the case. Step up my youth, hear this.
I know this little girl, her name is Maxine. Her beauty's like a bunch of roses. If I ever tell you about Maxine, you ought to say I don't know what I know, but murder she wrote.
Real.
Murder she wrote. Murder she wrote. Murder she wrote.
Action with him, a pretty face and bad character. Them the kind of living can hold Chaka. Follow me. A pretty face and bad character. Them the kind of living can hold Chaka. Say girl you pretty, your face it pretty.
Now, sitting in the number 5 position, we're into the top 5 now, ladies and gentlemen, and it is getting very, very interesting. It is also getting very exciting, and it is also getting very suspenseful, so to speak, because I'm sure that you want to find out, hey, who is the number 1? Who is the number 2? We're talking about the top 12 reggae or dancehall rhythms of all time. All right? Number 5 goes to the Cherry O Baby rhythm. All right? Does that ring a bell? Okay, now this rhythm actually had its origins in Eric Donaldson's winning festival song entry in 1971. It was produced by Bunny Striker Lee. All right, and the single actually proved extremely popular in Jamaica and way beyond. Because guess what? British group UB40 and American band the Rolling Stones, with Mick Jagger, they both did covers of Cherry O Baby, so it was big. All right. At that time, festival song contest was a massive thing. And, what is interesting about Cherry O Baby is that it never remained in a particular box, the festival song box, so to speak. Okay. So it actually, transcended the shores of Jamaica. All right. Now, this is another rhythm that proved its quality and its endurance over time. And it was resurrected to critical acclaim several years later in the booming 1990s, And in fact, local producers like Steely and Clevie, Digital B, also Dave Kelly and Donovan Germain, that combination there, and King Jammy, they all offer their own remakes of this popular Cherry O Baby rhythm. Now, phenomenally, approximately 50 artists, when I last counted, were attracted to the Cherry O Baby rhythm, including Admiral Tibet with one called Don't Try to Diss Me, Freddie McGregor with Cherry O Baby. Butcher Banton had one called Go and Go Sit Down, Garnet Silk and Tony Rebel in combination, one called As a Soldier. Capleton had Murderation. Cobra had Take Him. Chaka Demus had All Girl Picnic. Gregory Isaacs had Who Can't Stop, Who Can't Stop. George Nooks had Doing the Same Thing. Johnny Osborne, root singer Johnny Osborne, had one called Groovin'. Pinchers had one called Send Another One Come, you remember? And that was a very, very, a very catchy little ditty there, right there from Pinchers, Send Another One Come. And Morgan Heritage themselves, they had one called Free Education. Spanner Banner had Michelle. All right, so very, very interesting. What I'm going to invite you to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is to listen to Matt Cobra's, presentation to his song on the seminal Cherry Oh Baby rhythm. And this is through a single that is called Take Him. So, Matt Cobra, take it away.
A girl man I run it down, take him. You know business man, 48, 14, Matt Cobra. All girls, big up man, you know afraid of no mate. Watch this no man. Yeah, me. A girl man I run you down, girl, and don't feel your fault. Take him, girl, you know business. A girl man I run you down, girl, and don't feel your fault. Take him, girl. Watch this man. Take him, cause you're not afraid of no girl. Calamity day, you have fat material. Me show take him, she can't touch your body. Take him, because you're not afraid of me. Me show take him, cause your body not tired. Grab up the 10 ton where you have.
In the number 4 position, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the climax of this presentation here. So in the number 4 position is the Slang Teng Rhythm. And this, of course, was made popular by Wayne Smith. With a seminal single called Under Me Slang Teng, and that was in 1985, the mid-80s. Now, the revolutionary nature of the Slang Teng rhythm, I think, lies in the fact that it was the very first fully computerized rhythm. And of course, that this phenomenon actually transformed the reggae dancehall landscape forever. All right? Now, here's an interesting anecdote right here, because a lot of people, they credit King Jammy for being the innovator of this Slang Teng rhythm. But did you know that the original idea actually came from Wayne Smith himself? And history recalls, or articulates, right, or explains that Wayne Smith himself was inspired by an electronic keyboard. And then he brought the idea to King Jammy, and the two of them knocked heads together. And the legendary producer called King Jammies, he added his genius and his personal touch, and the rest is history. All right? Now, it is claimed that the Slang Teng rhythm has been versioned an astounding 450 times over the years, ladies and gentlemen. 450 times over the years. All right? And Jammy himself presented another tweak. He tweaked that rhythm in 2005. All right, but can you imagine? It has been versioned an astounding 450 times over the years. Now, it was an era that was brimming with musical talent, You're talking about the 1980s and 90s. And entertainers, of course, were hopping aboard this new creation, all right, including Tenor Saw with a single that is called Pumpkin Belly, right? Johnny Osborne had Booty Bye. John Wayne had Call the Police. Supercat had Trash and Ready. Ninja Man had Murder Them. Frankie Paul had Cassandra. Josey Wales had Cowboy Style, and Bounty Killer had, Lodge. Big tune, That was a very young Bounty Killer right there. And I dare say that a lot of sound systems have in fact killed other sound systems, so to speak, with Bounty Killer's Lodge. It's a big clash tune, However, we are going to be offering Ninja Man, the colorful Ninja Man, right? The honor of presenting to us his exponent of the Slang Teng rhythm through his renowned single called Murder Them.
Murder them. In a competition, a guy murder them. You tell them murder them. In a competition, me a go murder them. When me gone, who that follow me? When me look on a roughneck bad boy Joseph. When me gone, who that follow me on the right side? Me look a lieutenant sticky. When me gone, who that follow me? Who a jump up like wild animal? Can't you see a bad boy tiger?
Coming in at the number 3 position is the Shanghai Shake rhythm. Have you ever heard about it? All right, the Shanghai Shake rhythm. And this was conceptualized by a trumpeter way back in the ska era of the 1960s, a trumpeter called Baba Brooks. All right, in the 1960s. That is where he actually started from. All right, the Shanghai Shake rhythm. Its subsequent remix included another trumpeter in 1977, another trumpeter called Bobby Ellis. All right, and we're going to hear Bobby Ellis in a little while. I can tell you, you have to listen to that one. It's a big, big Shanghai Shake rhythm, and or his version, very clear, very clean. It is mesmerizing. But since then, since 1977, there has been a proliferation of versions assailing the dancehall space. All right, a few years later, and that was in the 1980s. That was when the Shanghai Shake rhythm really took off and became prolific. Now, the Shanghai Shake rhythm is among the most sampled and versioned reggae dancehall rhythms of all time. All right. Now, several esteemed acts such as Dennis Brown himself and the Mighty Diamonds. The Mighty Diamonds had Juvenile Child, if you remember that single there. All right, they sampled this. Eka Mouse had one called Virgin Girl. I'm sure you know that one, all right? Louis Lepke had Lover's Takeover, right? That was the name of his single. Sugar Minott had African Girl. Lone Ranger had Better Than Them, right? Frankie Paul had Nah Jump No Fence. Charlie Chaplin also weighed in, and Cornell Campbell had one called My Love Will Never Stop, something to that effect. All of them endorsed this exceptional rhythm with their artistry. All right, and so, ladies and gentlemen, with well over 200 entertainers climbing aboard this rhythm, over the span of some 3 decades, it is very little surprise, therefore, that the Shanghai Shake rhythm enjoys such an esteemed place on our most venerable list of reggae and dancehall rhythms of all time. All right, I mentioned Bobby Ellis a while ago. I'm going to give you the opportunity now to take a listen to Bobby Ellis's 1977 instrumental, right, of the same name. And we're going to give you a double take here, but by another artist this time. We're going to also invite you to listen to Sanchez's Brown Eyed Girl, which was voiced on this rhythm.
Brown-eyed girl, come and walk with me. Brown-eyed girl, come and talk with me. I wanna do all the little things that love should do. All the little things you want me to. Brown-eyed girl.
Welcome back. Now, the Stalag 17 rhythm comes in as the number 2 rhythm in our top-rated reggae rhythms of all time. All right? The Stalag 17, or some people just say the Stalag rhythm, okay? It was originated by a guy called Ansel Collins way back in 1973, And it was produced by Winston Riley's Techniques label. And the word stalag actually took its name from a 1953 war film. And it was commonly presented, it used to be presented mostly as an instrumental piece, you know. However, with the blossoming or the mushrooming of the dancehall scene in the 1980s, there was a whole slew of DJs who entered the fray, you know, with some memorable numbers on that particular rhythm, all right, signifying its successful transition into the dancehall space or into the dancehall genre. Among the artists who actually voiced on this captivating rhythm were Big Youths with All Nations Bow. General Echo had one called Arlene. You remember Arlene? Arlene, I must say dream. You remember that one, okay? Tenor had Ring the Alarm, all right? That is still a dancehall anthem, okay? Super Beagle had one called Dust the Soundboy. Nitty Gritty, the late Nitty Gritty, had Good Morning Teacher, all right? Rootsman Johnny Osborne had one called What a La La, all right? And of course, there would have been several others, but there are too many to mention right here. A big moment for the stalag rhythm came in 1982, you know, through an unlikely source because it was a female this time, okay? Sister Nancy, all right? She also voiced Bam Bam on this particular rhythm, stalag rhythm. Bam Bam, by the way, Sister Nancy's single has been sampled multiple times by foreign acts and foreign entities, all right? More than we can ever imagine, to be honest with you. And this is the single which we'll now turn our attention to. And we're going to give you a bonus right here too, because after that, the Bam Bam by Sister Nancy, we are going to be following that up with Tenor Saw's Ring the Alarm. Ring the Alarm. Take it away.
Think on a bam bam, look what's on Jamaican, little different style, different fashion, you know? Tell me say one thing Nancy can't understand. One thing Nancy can't understand. What make them a talk about me ambition? Say what make them a talk about me ambition? Come and say some of them a ask me where me get it from. Say some of them a ask me where me get it from. I told them no no it's from creation. I told them no no it's from creation. Bam bam hey what a bam 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 dilang bam 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 dilang bam bam hey what a bam bam ta what a bam bam. This woman never trouble no one. I'm a lady, I'm not a man. MC is my ambition.
Hey, ring the alarm. Hey, whoa. Ring the alarm. Another sound is dying. Whoa. Hey, ring the alarm. Another sound is dying. Whoa. Hey, some sound like a big jump on. Listen to sound, it's a champion. Rock the dance in any session. Rock up the woman and rock up the man. Ring the alarm. Another sound is dying. Whoa, hey, ring the alarm. Another sound is dying. Whoa, hey, Tita-to, we beat them all in a row. Donkey want water, but you hold him Joe. Tita-to, we beat them all in a row. Takas want water, but hold him Joe. Ring the alarm. Another sound is dying. Whoa, hey, ring the alarm. Another sound is dying. Whoa, hey, four big sound in a one big lawn. The dance sound baby.
And now, my esteemed audience, are you ready for the creme de la creme of reggae dancehall rhythms? I hope you are. Reggae Unleashed is thrilled to proclaim that the top-rated reggae dancehall rhythms of all time are none other than the phenomenally popular Punani and Taxa rhythms, both of which helped to define the dancehall of the 1980s and beyond. And yes, you heard correctly, as there are in fact two rhythms that ended in what we call a dead heat, which means that after closely examining the Punani and the Taxa rhythms multiple times, it was just too close to call. There was precious little in between them, all right? So both of them are in fact the number one. Let us examine these two enduring rhythms, ladies and gentlemen, one at a time, starting with the Punani rhythm. Due to its X-rated aura, starting with the very suggestive name, the Punani rhythm. This rhythm gained tremendous traction and influence in the dance hall in the latter half of the 1980s, with literally scores of artists wanting a piece of this exciting innovation. The rhythm, actually derived its name from Admiral Bailey's Gimme Punani single in 1986. Produced by Steely and Clevie for King Jammy, this hit gave rise to a slew of other releases on this up-tempo rhythm, which compels you to want to dance. When you hear that song, you just want to dance when you hear the rhythm. Among them, of course, were Shabba Ranks with the equally popular Needle Eye and It Can't Done, so he had two. Johnny P had Bike Back. Little John had Yes Mama. Major Worries dropped Babylon Boops. Ninja Man came out with Border Clash. Josie Wales had Right Move. Pinchers came out with Nambara Gun. And Risto Benjo, of course, he came out with Gimme the Money. All right? Now, these singles, along with several others, were hits within their own rights, and they extended way beyond the shores of Jamaica. The magic of the Punani rhythm, is basically created by the sheer energy and the rhythm of the beat, accompanied, of course, by its solid musical texture, in which percussions, piano, drum, guitar, bass guitar, they all feature prominently. I now invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to be moved by Johnny P's Back Back, and then by Little John's Yes Mama on the seminal Punani rhythm. Let's go.
Now if a girl knows that she not ready for post my bike back, you see the big bum girl them, come up on that, hear what? It is a beautiful sight, I'm a love to watch, to see the young girl on the bike back. It is a beautiful sight, I'm a love to watch, what the girl them on the bike back. Bike back, girl picking up on the bike. Bike back, girl picking up on the bike. Bike back, cock up your bum where you're depend. The bike back, make them know a girl pick me you a shock, and them know a girl pick they say you at what it. All of the girl on the bike back. When them a ride, them a wine and flash. If you ever see how them bum it just cock run a back and it a lick and it a shock and it a bike back, girl picking up on the bike. Bike back, girl picking up on the bike. Back your chest, on your knee, bend your back, go down, girl, you get flat, set yourself like you're dip and bike back. So the girl,
Mother, she look glad. Father, him stop screw. Look like him son la rope in fit you. Sharon a pregnant, you're pregnant, yes mama. From you see me sicky, shoulda know mama. From you see how me so fat, you shoulda know mama. From you see how me so lazy, shoulda know mama. You say I'm pregnant, me can't tarry. But if you put me out, you I go sorry. Remember me is the only picnic. Last night you tell me say you love me badly. Sharon a pregnant, you're pregnant, yes mama. From you see me sicky, shoulda know mama. From you see how me so fat, you shoulda know mama. From you see how me lazy, shoulda know mama. Go round the corner with your lover. Little after that pregnancy take over.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Let us now peruse the Taxa rhythm, all right? Which is, of course, our joint winner of the greatest reggae dancehall rhythm of all time, all right? Yes, we're calling it. Now, the Taxa rhythm came to prominence in the late 1970s with Sister Nancy's 1-2 as a standout track during this early period, all right? I think it came out in about 1976. The single, 1-2, was produced by the Techniques label with the talented rhythm twins, Sly and Robbie, contributing with their hypnotic drum and bass combination, all right? And you know that Sly and Robbie are the stuff of which legends are made. The Taxa rhythm gathered wings, around about 1980. However, with a subsequent revamp by Sly and Robbie, right, it basically just took off afterwards. And I can tell you, hundreds of artists have recorded on this distinctive one-drop rhythm since then. An interesting irony about the Taxa rhythm is that despite its phenomenal popularity, its bass line is among the most simple and uncomplicated that one will ever hear in music, all right? And you can ask any music teacher, any music aficionado. Very simple, uncomplicated bass line, but wow, such power. It was obviously compelling enough, I'm saying here, to thrill global fans for close to 3 decades. The musical appeal of the Taxa rhythm lies primarily, I believe, in its powerful driving bass pattern, as I alluded to earlier, but it also had uniform rhythm and moderate tempo, which combine to trigger in the listener that need to jump up and move. The currency and the durability of this rhythm are manifested in a smashing hit called Driver by veteran dancehall DJ Buju Banton in 2007. In the period between Sister Nancy and Buju Banton, however, there were about 350, tracks, and some of them very, very noteworthy as well, as we mentioned before. All right? For instance, Foxy Brown dropped Baby Can I Hold You Tonight, okay, which was a remake of, I think, Tracy Chapman's hit single in the 1980s, all right? Sanchez had Some Guys Have All the Luck, all right? Sugar Minott came out with Are You Ready? Johnny Osborne had Reason. Anthony Malvo had Echoes of My Mind. Thriller U dropped Kisses in the Moonlight. Cocoa T gave us Flirty Flirty. Freddie McGregor contributed Prophecy. Pliers came to the party with She Have to Come. Major Mackerel had The Duppy Come, all right, very humorous ditty right there. Tony Rebel had Fresh DJ Coming, all right, and that was a very fresh and a very young Tony Rebel at that time. Bounty Killer unleashed The Lord Is My Light and Salvation. Wayne Wonder had two songs. He had Fast Car and then Anything for You, all right, both of those were in fact remakes too, all right, or covers. And Little John had True Confession, all right. And as I said before, at the last count, there were well over 350 songs that had been released on the powerful Taxi Rhythm. Now, isn't that simply amazing? All right? Ladies and gentlemen, as we bring the curtains down on another Reggae Unleashed episode, we invite you to partake in what I call a musical feast with a double serving, all right? Featuring Sister Nancy's 1-2, followed by Buju Banton's powerful driving hit called Driver. See you in the next podcast.
I want you to carry this on the road for me. And don't take no time from nobody. Just do what me tell you for do, see, stand. And make sure that everything work according to how man say anything for work, see? Take back yourself and bring back yourself in a one piece. Make sure see you reach. Hear me? Lord of mercy. Hey, Lord of His mercy. Lord of mercy. Driver. Don't stop at all. Drop this Arizona round an Albemarle. Driver, don't even itch. Collect a little food there and come back quick. Driver, just remember the damn speed limit. Cause if you're running the fence, my friend, that is it. I've got an Excel phone and a singular chip. Any problem you can reach me on this. I pounds them and buy when a tons man a ship. Green like grass, brown like chocolate. FedEx and UPS I make several trip. And me life savings are right on this. You can drink and beer but don't you dare burn a split. This ain't the marijuana make your light uplift. Even though it compress and tie down in a plastic. Don't deliver it, I'm going up drastic. A barrel gun me bust and me and you know we can't stick. Me want change me zinc and put up the chroma stick. Tired me sip Red Bull, a straight hypnotic. So driver, me say don't stop at all. Drop this Arizona around an album.
A team color 1-2. Ain't no skipping boogaloo. Nancy off them on the queue. Steady, just falling on. Tommy say one, Tom Nancy make a little plan, and me say two. Until nobody kick off your shoe, and me say three. Until you Nancy have a baby, and me say four. Me let nobody kick off me door, and me say five. Until you if you slip you will slide, and me say six. I mean I'm Sister Nancy, and me say seven. But every man want go whatever me say eight. But until you Nancy lay them straight, and me say nine. Jamana this your lyrics, your mine, and me say ten. Got tell your little friend say Sister Nancy come again. Me do